Good evening, you're welcome. That's it. We can board this flight and we can actually get to take off. Hartelijke welkom aan almal hier. Good evening, everybody. What an absolute privilege it is to host our grade 10s with their parents of 2023 to launch and reveal to you tonight Travel School. Now, I want to make one thing very clear from the start. This is not a school tour. You heard me. It is not a school tour. You cannot have an expectation as a parent of your child being on a school tour. Grade 10s, you guys can't have an expectation of a traditional school tour. That's not what we plan for you. What we plan for you is a 6-week experience where the traveling and the people that you meet and the things that you partake in and the things that you do, the washing of your own clothes, right? The cooking of your own food, planning your own menu for the week, working together in teams to go shopping in the markets, not having a budget that's, realistic almost, and then having to make a plan to get food on the table for the team. Or having to get from point A to point B and then getting a flat tire and having to make a plan yourselves. That is the essence of Travel School. It is an experience where you have to take ownership for you yourself and to be able to adapt and change to the circumstances that's presented to you. Travel School originates way back in 2006 when a group of us, we were all still then very young, embarked on the very first global challenge. We had this world flight ticket, 20 countries that year, backpacks without tents in, and we were traveling for 11 months through the world, trusting the Lord to lead us as we traveled. Many of the nights we slept at airports. Our record at an airport was 65 hours that we spent on that airport, right? We ran out of budget in China, and that was our only option until our flight departed. So we made a plan. It was so funny. People were standing in first class line for check-in, and our team members would walk with their what's pantoffels in English? Slippers and their oats to the hot water tap on the other side of to get their oats. It's those experiences that prepared us for who we are today. And it's those experiences, hopefully your kids won't be sleeping 65 hours on the airport, but it's those experiences through that year that led us to say, well, there's opportunity for us to facilitate a similar experience with grade 10s. Of course, it's not going to be exactly, we were all adults. But in a way, we have to, in a safe environment that we can't guarantee, but that we try to create, allow learners to experiment. Let me tell you an example. A few years ago, our first travel school, we were in Turkey. And it's about a 40-kilometer travel from the city that we stayed in to the airport. So we had a challenge for those groups. They were already in smaller teams. And we launched a challenge right there, unexpectedly, where they had to come up with a fare that they needed to get to the airport. So they had to be creative, and very quickly, by either asking around or doing dances on the street corner and singing South African songs, people there gave money. They made enough money to get to a taxi, and they got to the airport. But they got there on their own. No teacher in the taxi. It was only that group, but again, it was an environment where we really felt it's safe for them to do so. Now, in a traditional sense, a lot of you parents might, this is where you draw the line. Okay, I'm not going to allow my kid to do that. That's fine, but we are going to do that in Travel School. So you have to be okay with putting your child in environments that's going to challenge him. If you're not happy with that as a parent, it's going to be a tough 6 weeks for you. Okay? What's the guarantee here? Absolutely nothing. But I have a promise for you. We will expose your child to things that they will experience for the very first time. And we will do so with the intent of developing future leaders. In other words, and you'll see that if a child's pushed through the things that they thought they cannot do, but they in the end achieved it, you have a different child that comes back after the 6 weeks. If they've taken ownership for 6 weeks, and you can tell me if it's happened at your house or not, if they've taken 6 weeks of ownership to clean up behind themselves, to wash their own clothing, wash their own dishes, you're going to have a different child when they are back. I'm certain of that. And the same with their academics. On travel school, they have to own their own academic progress. They will have to continue with academics because the kids back in South Africa, in Jeffreys Bay, they are learning. And so when your child comes back, they need to be on that same path. But how can that be done? Only if they take ownership for their own academic progress. And so it sounds insignificant, but it's those little things that's going to grow your own child. The second part of it is the exposure that your child will get to the people that we meet along the way. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. I don't want to reveal it too much, but that's over to Ms. Bushman to do. But on travel school, they will be exposed to lifelong missionaries in certain places, people who's given their lives for a certain calling and a cause. And with that comes an inspiration. Your own child discovers, yes, there's actually a purpose, a higher calling, that if I say yes to, my life gains destiny and purpose and impact. And it's that when they see that firsthand, someone who's given their life to a ministry or to a people group, and they see the sacrifices that they made, it does change. Your child might not end up full-time missionary somewhere, but even if they come back here and they finish high school and go study further, end up in an occupation or an entrepreneur, whatever that is, there's still a different mindset to working than just for yourself. It's understanding that, well, what I do in life actually contributes to society. And that's on the wall there if you walk in the foyer, but we just pass it by. But the moment that you've seen that, experienced it, there's something different in it. And of course, the third thing that's going to happen is your child is going to learn to tolerate the person next to them. 24 hours for 6 weeks. They're going to have to sacrifice. They're going to have to accept others for who they are and how they do things and their sleep routines. And they're also going to have to consider again others when they sit on the bus and there's no seat. Maybe they'll then stand up and hopefully give the seat to an elderly or whatever. But it's just those experiences again that will develop your child. From our side, we want to see, well, this group, but there's others that's not here, of course, tonight, but we want to see this group of grade 10s come back with an excitement and enthusiasm for the remaining years at GLA, where they can make a contribution. And it can happen without you being on travel school. Travel school is not going to be the one thing that changes everything, but it's got the potential. And it's going to determine a lot what your mindset is, grade 10s, from the very start. Even from tonight, I want to say, your mindset, how you enter into this, is going to be critical for how you experience travel school. You can go on travel school and come back with, I saw this and I did this, with no box ticked in growth. It's possible. Because if you going with the attitude that I know everything, I've seen everything, I'm unteachable, then you're not going to learn. But if you come with the right mindset of learning as much as you possibly can and gaining as much from this and being willing to push yourself, you are going to have an awesome time. It's also a journey of faith. And I'm saying that with caution, but still it is what it is. You might be sitting here tonight and know this is going to cost something. It's going to cost our family something. I have to sacrifice seeing my child for 6 weeks. And kids, 6 weeks is long. For you not to see your mom, your dad for 6 weeks, there's times that they're sad and that they want to return home. Unfortunately, it's not budgeted for them to return home. So they're stuck with us for 6 weeks. But there's also going to be the challenge of finances. How do I get to these finances? And I want to tell you a simple story of what's happened in the past. Kids that said in faith, and of course it is also, you need to know this is what the Lord has called you for. But even if you do not have the finances, kids that said yes in the past, all of them have gone. And there has been miraculous provisions of how the Lord opened the doors. But it will take a step of faith for you to embark on this journey. For some more than others. But I don't want you to be hesitant because you're thinking, what's the financial implications in this? If the Lord has called you, I'm confident that He will provide for you. Okay? But it doesn't come without the Free Market Friday stall to bake cake and sell cake, or the walking from door to door and asking others to champion you. It is in the essence a leadership development program. If you as a grade 10, I actually hope maybe there's parents that can afford this to just give it to their kids. But I still want to ask you to hold a little bit back and give ownership to your child. It's part of the journey. They need to own a part of this, even if you're able to afford it. Let them own a quarter of it and see how what they do, because it's part of Travel School. And we've never launched it this early in the year. So there's plenty of time for your child. And I know a lot of you have already started. There's grade 10s here that started from grade 8 saving for Travel School. So well done. So that's just a bit of a background. Tonight we're not going to be able to answer all your questions, but we are going to try and answer most of them. Right at the end, as we go through this, if there's any questions left, please, you're welcome to ask them, and we'll see, at least from previous experience, we'll be able to answer some of them. Alright, I'm going to hand over to Ms. Boersma. Maybe let me just introduce, you all know Ms. Boersma, Jenny. She's a key part of this team. She's actually leading Travel School with Ifra Bosch over there. You can stand up. They are the seasoned Travel School leaders. So they led last year and they'll be leading this year again. And then myself will be joining them. Mr. Broodryk, he looks very enthusiastic to join. And there will be also, so there will be a male with him. If it's not me, it's someone else, but during that time there will be a male team member that travels with the group. So there will be 3 staff members at all times for this group. And we're aiming for a group of about 20 for everything to work out budget-wise. But that's the detail. Over to you, ma'am, and then I'll wrap it up with some logistics. All right.
Okay, good evening, everybody. So lovely to see everybody here, and yeah, very, very excited. Excited for Travel School to start, So, must I stand more to the front? As Mr. Klein spoke about daily life in Travel School, many of the videos you guys see is us doing something, but then there's just days that are normal, and I thought I want to show you this video. It's just a normal day of washing our clothes, like a routine day in the Transkei last year.
That's what you pay for.
Okay, so if your child has never done their own washing, I'll make sure to take a video again as evidence that that's our only way of having our washing washed is by doing it ourselves. Okay, so I know throughout since last month, people have been asking like, okay, where are we going? And we just said, just wait, it's a surprise. So finally, we can reveal our destination. So, who can identify where is our first destination? Where would this be? Well done! Okay, so at least we know. So last year we went to the Transkei. Our first stop was Gramstad and then Transkei. So now our first stop is PE, and then let's see where our second stop would be. Oh, we'll have to see. Who can guess first with this place?
The water.
Yes? Woo, awesome, well done.
What?
That is right. For Travel School this year, we are heading towards Joburg after we went to PE. And then, okay, let's see, then we're going to make a turn in Joburg. You can tell me, where is this next destination?
It's an island.
America.
Yeah. Okay, so everybody's been asking. So people were asking, are we staying in South Africa or are we going abroad or outside our borders? So we know we are leaving the country. That is why we must go to PE and go to Joburg, because we must get onto the airplane to eventually to go somewhere.
Oh, this is going to be a good one.
Okay, so I want you guys to guess. Okay,
The color.
it's not easy. This one is not easy.
Kenya.
Okay. But what group in Kenya? So those people who have answered, you may not answer again. Okay. Okay. So yes, this is the Maasai group in Kenya. We will go to first. We have very good missionary friends that we support there, and we're gonna stay between. It's not very wild between elephants and go for night walks with the elephants and sleep outside, and it's gonna be a real wildlife experience. Yeah. Okay. So just another picture of the Maasai. So there you guys can see that we are going to Kenya. Okay. Oh wait, here's more. who can guess where we're going after Kenya? What country? Me Botswana?
Tanzania.
What do you say? Tanzania, so well done. You said Tanzania. Me, we said. Well done. So, yes, now we know we're going to go to Johannesburg, then we can go to Kenya and to Tanzania. So are you guys excited? You are not think, unfortunately then, oh sorry, okay, no reward for this. Who knows, this is in Tanzania. What is it? What crater is this? Guys, it's an Ngorongoro crater, which is, beautiful, beautiful crater that people sleep around the border at night. Okay, and then just a picture of the Kilimanjaro. We won't be hiking the Kilimanjaro, but we will be moving around close by the mountain. And then finally we can get back onto the plane. Okay, sorry. Where are we going? It's a plane. It's a plane. It's a plane.
It's going
to go not home, but somewhere else. Okay. So, okay, there's a prize for a reward for this one.
Let us see. Mauritius.
Not Mauritius. Yes, to go to Zanzibar. Okay. Yes, to finally go to Zanzibar. I see there's a few parents who's volunteering. Do the students mind if our parents come along? No?
Yes.
Okay, so you're Stone Town in Zanzibar, and we will be snorkeling and swimming with the dolphins. So, to wrap it up, this year's travel school is finally going to Kenya, Tanzania, and Zanzibar.
So I'd like to share with you Andre and Cornelia, who's in Kenya, who we'll be visiting with. I've met them way back when I was at university for the first time going into Kenya. Specifically to Andre, he was unmarried that time, and he was already then 11 years working amongst the Maasai. So it was so rural that something like 9/11, those are things that he completely missed in his years working with the Maasai. communication was a zero. And he fully understands Maasai. He's embedded himself in that culture. It's an amazing opportunity. When we go there, we are going to actually be hosted by the Maasai at their camp. And we will be working with them alongside. They've started the school there. They've got a couple of construction projects and physical labor, which we will be helping with. But we'll have the opportunity to get to know actual Maasai warriors and see their spears and how they hunt. I have the opportunity to walk with them at night in the veld, sleep with elephants just a few 100 meters from you, hearing them at night, slaughtering a goat right there and eating it as the Maasai would in the bush, It will be experience of an absolute lifetime, I promise you. I've been there before, and that's probably the part that I'm looking forward to the most, is actually being in Maasai land with a Maasai. The rest of the itinerary, as you travel down through Serengeti to Ngorongoro crater and then into Tanzania, those stops we haven't yet completely finalized. And so we're still pursuing leads with missionaries that will host us. Same in Zanzibar. I actually spoke this afternoon with people that's on Zanzibar. That's a potential contact for us. But your child will need a backpack and a tent. Okay, it's a backpacking journey. That what they carry with them must be light and must foresee all their needs. There's not going to be opportunity to carry too much because you're going to be the one carrying it. All right, and remember we're still carrying, especially on the backpacking part, your food and your other things that you need for this. If you need a mattress or a sleeping bag, you're carrying that with you. So that's just the nature of this journey. Is an overland backpacking journey. We, of course, not able to take the school bus, right? So you can understand that it poses some challenges. But with our contacts, we've traveled there enough, and we're able to, I think, really make a success of it. If you think of TravelSCHOOL last year, which were in South Africa, the Wild Coast, into Natal, all the way up the Drakensbergs. What was the furthest north that you guys went?
St. Lucia.
St. Lucia, and then back. That was 16,000 Rand in total, right? So let me talk about this year's cost. We've projected that if we have about 20 learners, the cost is going to be 26,000 Rand per child. Now you can think that includes all accommodation, all the food, all the travel, and all the planned activities that's part of this experience. I think it is an absolute bargain for 6 weeks. Probably some of your kids cost you more being at home than sending them with us. But it is a substantial amount, I agree, but it is TravelSCHOOL, and unfortunately, although we try to make it as affordable as possible, that currently is the best cost that we could get to be able to accommodate your child and all the various travels and things that's included in the journey. So we've set out the following. We're going to just give a 1 week for applications. Just 1 week. Next week, Friday, applications will close. Alright? And by that time, your application form, which we will hand out just now, must be submitted directly to Ms. Boersma in her hand. Not I put it on your desk, it's in her hand so that you can sign that you've submitted it. And it's really for us to just have a show of intent, the seriousness. There's 1,000 Rand deposit that we'd like with that. Of course, if you can get to 500 and not 2,000, that's fine, just talk to us, but ideally we'd like 1,000 Rand as a commitment, which counts towards your 26,000. Then, it's going to help us, of course, if you're able to pay the 26,000 up front and not over a period, because it gives a fact that you're going, and it helps us to start buying tickets. But for us, now we've scheduled the payments is as follows. By the 1st of April, we would need 5,000 Rand, and that first 6,000 is really so that we can buy the beginning of April our first flights. Then we go into the third payment, which is the 1st of May, which is a 10,000, and the 1st of June is the last 10,000. So that brings you to the 26,000. Of course, if you need to make arrangement, you can. This is ideal situation for us if you can keep to those payment dates. And of course, as I said, all accommodation and planned activities, food, etc. is included. if we talk about pocket money, I honestly want to urge you to not send too much pocket money. It gives them an opt-out of the experience. If you send too much pocket money and they can eat out of your pocket money every day, then there's no, what's the lesson they're going to learn of eating with a team and eating the same food? And so, of course, where we are going is going to be less of a problem because there's no McDonald's there and there's no other food sources there. So they'll have to depend on us. But I think pocket money wise, honestly, if you keep to 100 Rand, 200 Rand a week, that's going to be more than sufficient for your child to travel. Okay. Now, I'm not saying stuff. Otherwise, you give them too much and they're able to opt out of what the plan times. What's not included is the travel insurance, and it's mandatory for you to have travel insurance just in case there's an emergency. That responsibility of critical care or cannot be on us only in that moment. So, and if we have to phone you and say, yeah, here's a critical situation, you have to get your child back to South Africa, it's also then a burden on you. So please, travel insurance is a must. We will provide you an option for travel insurance, but you're also welcome if you, maybe on your own medical aid, that can be added and it's much cheaper, or you can arrange something at any other travel agency. You're welcome to do your own travel insurance. Any medication, of course, that they take away, that's your responsibility. Access to unplanned sites. So let's say, for instance, in Zanzibar, the snorkeling is included. But if you want to do scuba diving, by all means, but you're paying it for yourself. If you want to swim with the dolphins, you're going to pay for yourself. If you want to do the paraglide over the beach, do it. That's on your own cost. So we will provide just an idea of what those costs are so that you know what to budget for. And that's, of course, on top of the pocket money that you then do provide. And we've seen it works because we're able to keep travel school affordable, the experience, but then those that want to do the extra things, they're able to. We were in Turkey last, and the hot air balloon was, I think, 3,000 Rand, and there was 1 or 2 kids that did it. And the rest went on, they explored the cheaper things. And so, I mean, travel school is also a place where we want to give the kids the opportunity to do things. So if it's possible, we'll allow them, but those things will be out of your own pocket money. Okay, maybe I'll pause there and just hear if there's any specific questions that I haven't caught on. Yes.
Ek dink nou aan die regsakke met die skoolwerk. Hulle gaan seker nie al hulle boeke pak.
No. So a good question on the schoolwork. All their work will be on a tablet, and we take one exam pad, like an A4 exam pad, and then they will be able to, when they get back, the work that they did, they'll stick in their books, workbooks when they're back. Like once we've, in EGD for instance, we'll do work that they're able to do, while traveling, and last time I brought all of those papers back. So we do think of how do we make sure the tablet will have to be part of the, taking that with you because your books are going to be on there. But it's basically a tablet plus an exam pad.
I want to ask, is there any visas?
No, not any visa requirements. Yeah, a valid passport. Yeah, and that passport, I believe, must be valid 6 months after your last date, which is the 3rd of August. So you can check that. If you do not have a passport yet, that's something that you'll have to apply for almost immediately. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Come, I haven't had tough ones yet. Okay, so to help raise the funds, we'll give once a child has filled out the application and they've submitted that, we'll give them a sponsorship form. That will be when they have been accepted onto travel school. Okay, and with that, then they can help with the fundraising. Ideally, if you apply and filled out this form honestly, this will already sift you whether you're up for it because it asks difficult questions. I think a child that's already hesitant to say yes to all of these things, that's already for yourself, should be for you and your parents, a discussion that would maybe say, well, if you're not up for all of these things, then maybe this isn't for you. And let us not make that decision for you. Right? But most of the time, kids who filled in the application, they were able to go on travel school because this already sifts those that's just here to see what's it about. In the end, not everybody will go and travel school. It asks something of you and your parents and you as a family. But I can promise you, or hope to promise, that it is a very significant experience for a child, and I'd like all of you to be part of that, if you have the correct mindset. Yes?
How much did last year's travel school cost?
16,000. And that was just in South Africa for 6 weeks. So you can see here it's very comparable. It's basically the flights that makes the difference in price.
In what currency do you put the pocket money? Do you get a traveler's card?
Yeah. Okay, those are details that I'll confirm with you closer to the time, but there's different banks that's got different card options that you can actually have an international pocket almost. And well, I'm just going to draw my cash when I get to Kenya. That's what we do as a family. It's definitely an option for you. We did that last with Turkey as well. So you don't have, there is options, but if you have a debit card and it's internationally activated, you can just draw on arrival. Yeah. You could also exchange before the time. Okay, any questions, other questions that you have?
Will they be allowed to take their cell phones?
Will they be allowed to take their cell phones? I'll let the parents here decide. Should we let them take their cell phones? Who says yes? Who says no? Yeah, that's true. There's optimism. So in the past they've taken their cell phones because they take pictures with it and you're able to WhatsApp home and so on. The messages back to the parents aren't always filtered though. So maybe for yourself, remember, if they had a tough day of working and they get home and they send you a message of, I'm tired, I want to get home. It might just be because they had, a difficult time. So don't, in that moment, again, don't be tempted to just say, yes, I'll buy the ticket, come back. Because it's the easy out, again. They need to endure the difficulties. And you can rather say, okay, well, remember what you committed to. You said you're going to get this through, so I'm here, I'm backing you to get through this. That's a better response than say you're going to come home. All right, thank you so much for joining us tonight. The flight only leaves in a couple of months, so you guys just can be around. Maybe just a last afterthought I was thinking now, don't again fall for the temptation to go buy the best backpack and the newest thing. If you can borrow these things, or if you have one already, use it. Okay? Honestly, that shouldn't be something that concerns you. All right? Peace to your hearts. Cheers.